Here's the new beginnings. Here's the new beginnings. The pull up so independent. We pull up so independent.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3. We made it to episode 3 of the Sloan Blueprint, a couplepreneurs podcast. I am your co-host, Nicole Sloan.
And I am Eric Sloan.
And first of all, I just want to say how much we appreciate, and I think you want to say it too, right? We want to say that we appreciate all of the positive feedback that we received. I had somebody even send me like a whole thesis of notes. It was like notes that they had taken from the podcast. And we just want to say how much we appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. As you know, our motto is what? I'm going to see if Eric remembers this time.
You know, I'm the quiet one. So
I wish you would. What is our motto? Progress, not perfection. So, of course, as
let me be quiet.
No, never mind. Shut it down. But as we attempt to encourage and inspire you, not only just in marriage and in business, in life, we're encouraging ourselves too.
Correct.
You know, this is
not just in life and friendship and everything else, and just as we call it, the blueprint.
That's right.
Or giving you a blueprint.
That's right.
Our blueprint.
And your support is helping to inspire and encourage us to keep on keeping on, right? Keep on keeping on. Okay. So on this episode, I think we this time we want to focus on how we took the big leap and how we became our own boss times 2.
Check it out. Do
boss
you like
times
it?
2.
I like it. Got a nice ring.
Which, by the way, will be available for purchase soon. So be sure to keep your eyes and your ears open on all of our social media outlets. Make sure you subscribe. But Boss Times 2 doesn't necessarily apply to couplepreneurs, right?
Yeah, well, it applies to couplepreneurs, but
not
only couplepreneurs, but just the different aspects. Because I think it's different definitions of couplepreneurs. So, of course, you have couplepreneur from the standpoint where you have 2 entrepreneurs that are married, but then you also have the aspect of couplepreneur from when a husband or a wife is the entrepreneur, other is the entrepreneur, but then you have one that may be either a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, but you're still a boss times 2 because you guys are doing it together.
That's right. Still a boss times 2. And you know, as you said, to me, it means that even though that husband or that wife may be the entrepreneur and the other is the stay-at-home spouse, you're still holding it down for your family on both fronts, right?
Correct.
On either front. The whole shebang,
So
right?
I think that may be a whole nother subject in itself because you have the ones that stay at home. That's a job in itself.
It's a job in itself, especially if you got kids that you're trying to raise and cooking and cleaning.
And I think throughout this pandemic, you see the benefit of the ones that stay at home because guess what? Now they just have an extra burden, a burden that they have to do as far as with the kids and teaching and training. At home
and school, was it homeschooling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. Whew, I'm glad we went to. Whew, thank God. But anyway, that brought back some memories.
I bet it did.
But you know, when we started both of our companies, truthfully, you know, talking about, you know, the big leap, how we just stepped out on faith. We didn't have a lot of resources, really, you know, and I guess resources meaning we didn't have a lot of money in the bank. To be frank, I remember the first time we applied or we were.
So it's funny you say that. So I know where you're going. So we didn't apply initially. I would say our bank of choice at the time sent us something in the mail saying, "Hey, well, you've been approved for a line of credit."
Yep,
so we're like, "Oh yeah, that's great, that's awesome." So we're gonna go to the bank and we're gonna pretty much take advantage of the opportunity. So we go there, you know, happy. Go in and say, well, you got to fill this out. We fill it out. And they denied us. Like, wait, well, why'd you?
Like, what's the point?
Why'd you send it to us?
Right. I remember that. I do remember that. So we
that
didn't
was one of those egg in the face moments.
Oh, it was. But that's all right. Because guess what? Back then they didn't want us. But now they Now that what's the saying? Now we hot. They all on us.
So you going back to old school? You know, Mike
Who's
Jones.
That? Oh, that was Mike. Oh, I'm glad you said Mike Jones. I was about to say the Hot Boys. I'm stuck on the Hot Boys for some reason.
Yeah, see, you're showing our age a little bit, so we got to be careful with that.
You're right. as you are. What, you 50? No, I'm just kidding.
No. So we got jokes now?
Moving on. But you know, I remember too when I started my real estate company. You know, I started by faith.
Yep.
I mean, it was like a big faith.
Yeah,
leap of
that
faith.
was a, you're talking
I
about a
remember
leap.
you thought I was crazy
Yeah.
because I had said, you know, probably within a month, I'm going to be open July 1st. And you were looking at me like,
Well, I didn't think you were crazy. I just thought that it was aggressive.
you thought I was crazy.
Yeah, I thought you were aggressive.
Okay.
You can use your words and I use mine.
Okay, then.
I just thought you were a little aggressive.
Okay, then. But it was it was no doubt a mindset change for me
Yeah.
because I've worked since I was 15 years old. I've seen my parents work hard, you know, which they're both retired right now. But in my family, as a direct example, I never had anybody that owned a business.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was scary. It was scary. I was apprehensive. I didn't know, you know, where to begin, where to start. You know, I was really seeking God then.
Well, yeah, and
you know,
you seek them.
I did.
And
Seek them or sought them.
Whatever you want to
Go
call
ahead,
it.
seek them.
So we creating shit. I'm from the country.
Making up
I
your
guess.
own words.
I'm from
No,
the
you're not.
city country.
Yeah, city country. But you know, when I started, I was the thing that was ringing most heavily in my mind was, Lord, you know, I got to bring in some money. You know, because you think about, you know, not bringing in a steady income, and all I think about was, I got to bring in a steady income to help you pay the bills. You know, so it was a step. It was a huge step of faith.
Yeah,
but God lined it all up.
Yes, he did.
He did.
And of course, we're talking about path. My path, I guess, was a little bit different. Yeah, we didn't have, I guess, the necessary resources from one aspect, but mine, I say, was just a little different, just to provide, I guess, a little context. I say I had experiments. And when I say experiments, meaning that I had several failed entrepreneurship opportunities that we pursued, that I pursued. So one, I think when we were staying in the apartment complex, and so one of the big things was the multi-level marketing, the get rich quick, and I did okay with it. You know, you're buying things and then they're giving you a percentage back, and then you're having other people to come in, and then just the whole pyramid scheme. So
Pyramid scheme. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said multi-marketing.
yeah, so pyramid. So that did okay. Then started something else called the Sloan Blessings Group, and that was going to be the IT aspect of it. So you know, the break fix. Yeah, it did okay, yeah, but that wasn't necessarily my passion from the standpoint of break fixing, but I could do it. So did that. I guess the next thing came up. It was what I liked the most from aspect. It was a thing called Livewire. So Livewire was an email type deal where we would help those companies that had opportunities out there, and then we knew a lot of companies that were hiring, and then also know a lot of people that were in the job market. So we were marrying those two together, and so I enjoyed that aspect of it just because we were helping people. So that was one aspect. I think the next thing, it went into not necessarily a business opportunity, but it was more of a group thing where a couple of like-minded individuals got together, and we started an IT group called Montgomery Association of IT Professionals.
That one too.
And that was probably another one of those community type things that I enjoyed, because we were able to help students. We were also able to help those that were working, that were looking to get into entrepreneurship, to train, inspire, talk about some of the new technology that was coming out, do presentations. And I think a number of those individuals now have started businesses and very successful. But then going from there, starting, working with different companies, but then coming out and branching off and starting OneSync. So I guess my process from that standpoint, it wasn't a leap. I guess it was more of a gradual process in that.
I don't know what would be down the step down from a leap.
Well, a gradual climb. We'll say
There you
that.
go.
So instead of a leap, a gradual climb. How about that?
Little froggy step.
Leapfrog.
But yeah, so
See, I think that's what you did. You did one of them leapfrogs.
honey, I just went for it. Look, said, hey, look, All or nothing.
see, that's another thing showing that age. So we're talking about, Frogger,
Age.
Frogger.
Wait a
You
minute
have
now.
the little frog jumping up, so you took that leap all right.
Don't bring my age in this. Wait a minute now.
Wait, how you gonna call me 50 and then you
We
get
wouldn't
mad
have to
at
do
me?
this in front of these folks. but yeah, so after that, then there was one sync. Of
Correct.
course, you did your other thing, but
Yeah, so
like
we
we
did
said
one
in the
sync
previous
and-
episodes, you jumped out and started one sync.
Yep.
And I remember you talking to me about it because I had no idea at first what in the world you were talking about doing. I just didn't have the knowledge. But once you stepped out, you did take a leap of faith. And when you did, God just lined everything up. He aligned, and I believe that He prepared you in your previous endeavors to get you to as far as the connections that you were able to make, whether they were local or in the state, in just the nation or abroad.
Yeah, correct.
So you were just being prepared through all
Yep.
those, right? See how that helped you out. COVID fist bump, high five, something. Okay, then. All right. So,
Really?
which would bring us to maybe sharing some of the pros and cons of being your own boss or your own boss times
Yeah, there
too.
you go.
Why did you do it? Boss times too? Okay.
I guess I went backwards. I did too,
You
so
said
I
two
guess I
times
need to go
boss-
from
boss
right to
times,
left.
Well, it's 2 times, but yeah. Okay. But what would you, I guess one of the pros, we start with pros.
Well, one of the
Only
pros,
because it sounds good.
one of the pros probably would be you're able to live your dream or the passion that you have. So I would think most people when they are, excuse me, I guess I need to enunciate. I get to talking and then it's more slurred than a conversation. So let me enunciate. How about that?
Enunciate. Spell it. No, just kidding. Go on, I'm sorry.
But no, more. I think one of the pros is just the passion. Just because I think when we're working, it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like work. It's something that we're able to, something that we want to do. I know from a technology standpoint, I've always been more like a technology enthusiast, just wanting to learn and do different things. And in our work environment, we're able to do that on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. As you said, living your passion, living your dream. It's nothing like living your dream because you want to come to work.
Yeah, correct.
I said this to one of the young ladies the other day. I was like, it's different when you step into your own building in your own peace and you don't have to, well, that's another one, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I understand.
It's nothing like it. It's truly a blessing to be able to live your passion and live your dreams. On the other flip side, I'll talk about one of the cons. You got to have a lot of motivation, self-motivation, excuse me.
There you go.
A lot of self-motivation because there will be times, and it gets a little, it gets difficult at times, and so you got to be motivated enough to say, self, you're going to get up this morning. Look, you're going to go after these clients or you're going to go after these contracts on your end or whatever the case may be. You got to talk to yourself,
Yeah, 'cause there's several times that you stayed up all night and you were working and you were doing some other things like, I don't want to get up. And guess what? When you wake up, there are new opportunities and new things that may present themselves that you need to either have to take advantage of, that you have to resolve. So
yeah, just again, you got to have a lot of self-motivation. Going back to what we were talking about at the beginning, encouraging yourself.
Yep.
Because when you're doing it for yourself, you got to know how to encourage yourself. You got to know how to pray on your own. You can have even accountability partners. As far as we are accountability partners to each other, but sometimes it goes back to that stuff that you have to do for yourself.
correct.
To keep going, to keep pushing, to keep moving forward.
Well, and then I guess another pro, since you is, I guess we'll go in the pro-con aspect. Well, another pro is not only is your dream, but you're the boss.
I want to do it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Quick praise break. Go on.
so you ready to do the dance? Yeah. Really?
You get that? Never mind.
No.
But yes, you are your own boss.
Correct. And so that is a pro from the standpoint. So of course you make your own hours. You you determine the direction of where you want the company to go, or where you want the company to go, what you want your team to do. You become the visionary of the company. So if it fails, then typically it's falling on you. If it succeeds, then it's on you. So, but you almost, in a sense, dictate that.
Which brings me to another con. You're responsible for everything. Everything. And as you said, being the boss, you're responsible for the inner and outer workings of the company. And so when you're responsible for everything, that means that you've got employees that you're held accountable to, partners, stakeholders,
Correct.
teammates, this, that, and the other. We call our employees team because we're a team.
Correct.
You're responsible for everything. The bills, can you pay my bills? Folks don't get it.
Telephone
People,
bill.
pay myself.
See that's that Sasha Fierce coming out in you.
That's Sasha. But you're responsible for everything. And some people don't really get it. They just see, it's glamorous to own your own business. To say, to jump on, which we all do, don't get me wrong, jump on Facebook or Instagram. I've started my own business. But you got to remember, and especially if you want to have a successful business and do it in excellence, you got to remember you're going to be responsible for everything, which means as the boss, you're what? What would you say? As the boss, you're what? You're accountable to a whole lot of folks and a whole lot of.
Yeah, that accountability. But then while we're talking about that, I'm not going to say it's a pro or a con. But that's where you, as far as from the team aspect of it, comes in. Where I think I'm reading a book, I just read a book called Who Not How. So now you have the who's that you hire, that you can rely on, that you hire to be the experts in a particular thing. So from the con standpoint, where everything is not solely on you, because if everything is solely on you, from a con aspect, then sometimes it's likely to fail because you become that one center or that one point of failure. So you don't want to be that one point of failure.
That's
but
true.
From the con aspect of it.
That's a very good point. You're responsible for everything, but then too, you want to let people do what they do.
Correct.
You don't want to micromanage. Is that kind of what you mean?
Exactly.
You want to micromanage everybody. Let them do what they do. Now, when it comes down to the point where you got to step in, because, there are times when you have to step in.
Correct.
But, so yeah.
And I think from my standpoint, know the different components of the business, as far as from whether it be from the accounting, you understand the legal aspects of it, you understand the business development, but you don't want to be the one doing everything, because starting out, sometimes you have to do everything. And then if you're doing everything, then sometimes things fall through the cracks. And so that's where I guess those who come in, where you hire the who's to focus on those things, and then take some of the weight off of you.
And trust people to do their job.
Yep.
Then that's another subject too. So that's another con. Another pro that you could probably think of is what?
Another pro is, I guess, flexible work-life balance. So
Which has been really helpful
to
for
me,
us.
that's a pro, because we're very involved, as far as involved parents, as far as our children. And if they're doing something, then we want to be there to support.
Right,
so being our own boss, that allows us the opportunity to do that.
And we haven't always been able to do that.
No.
Just in recent years, because when you're on somebody else's clock, you got to be on their clock, be on time, be there when they tell you to be there, leave when they tell you to leave. But now that we have that flexible work-life balance, we are able to go if, Cortland has an engagement, or if Jaden has a game, or whatever the case may be, or if we just want to take some time for us, that time that we talked about in episode 1 and 2. Us time.
So you had to emphasize that aspect of it.
I sure did. But yeah, so flexible work-life balance, right?
Yeah, so is that one of those, what is it, Message? I'm trying to think what movie that was back in the day. It was one of the Keenan Ivory.
You the movie buff.
It was one of the Wayans brothers, something like Message.
Yeah, Message, you're right. and finally, one other con that comes to mind for me is it's an investment. Meaning you're going to take a big financial risk. I know we did because, as I said before, we didn't have a lot of money just stacked up to do this. We honestly did not. I remember when I moved into the first space, the lady that was there just so graciously offered me, this desk and this and that, or this for an extremely low price,
That was.
I mean, it was amazing.
That was literally the hands of God on that.
It really was, and so when you start out, you don't necessarily have that guaranteed income that you're used to working on someone else's 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever. And so as an employee, you're getting paid on a certain time schedule. As a business owner, starting out and taking that leap, that guaranteed income might not be there.
Correct.
Not on a weekly basis, not on a monthly basis. So you're having to hustle and grind. Is that hustle and float? Hustle and grind harder to make your money. I just be thinking of stuff. And
you don't watch movies?
Not for real.
You're
I just
throwing a lot of them out
there.
there.
Now listening to you, I really don't.
You're throwing a lot of them out there.
My attention span is kind of short.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? You got to hustle and grind in order to get those bills paid. And you got to get creative.
Very creative. Well, and not just creative. Sometimes I guess that's where I think from your standpoint, you don't like to, I'm not going to say you don't like to network. That is not your favorite thing to do.
Well, don't tell these folks that like that, y'all. Okay. I just said I do. I'm a people person.
Yes, you are.
To a certain degree. I have a limit of socialization. Whereas you, when we go to an event, if it's let's say a boat party, birthday party, I don't know. If it's 5 hours, you gonna talk from the time you step on the boat.
I disagree.
No. Tell these folks the truth. You step on the boat and you're gonna talk if it's from 5 to 10.
I disagree.
Eric Sloan is gonna talk from 4:59 until 10:01. Me, 5 to 6:30-ish. I'm like, I love y'all. It's been real. I've had fun, but I'm out.
But that's going back to that guaranteed income, because you're not going to have guaranteed income from an investment standpoint.
Oh, okay. Let me hear
but
you out.
You have to be able to have those conversation points of being able to go to a networking function and being able to communicate with the customer, communicate with potential partners, and build that relationship so that you can overcome that income gap or that risk that you utilize to start your business.
Amen.
So
well,
that's where I was going with it.
Oh, I'm with you, and that's why God gave us that balance. You the talker. I'm just gonna talk for a little bit, and then I'm gonna let you handle the rest. Build relationships, and I organize and work on the back end.
So I'm a talker in different areas, in areas where I feel more comfortable communicating about. So if we're talking about business, if we're talking about a particular opportunity or how we can get there, then absolutely. If we're just having,
I want you to, because I want to go where the money resides.
Where the money resides. Where the money resides.
Hey, but okay, so
terrible.
Okay, so let's just recap the 6 pros and cons, because we'll be cutting up. So what was
the first? Live your passion. A pro, it allows you to live your passion. It also allows you to ultimately live your dream.
Fulfill your dreams, right? Con, you got to have that self-motivation in order to live that passion. Because you can be passionate. If you ain't putting it's kind of like faith without works is dead. You can have faith all day, but if you sitting at home all day saying, Lord, I just know you're going to bless me with this good business and all this money and all this such and such, like my old pastor, you say such and such, then, it's just going to be that. You're just going to believe that you have faith, but you really don't. You got to put some feet on your faith.
Correct. The next thing is, I think, number 3, you're the boss.
You're the boss.
So that has this. Yeah. I like
boss
that.
Time too.
I like that.
Boss.
But you are the boss, but that has its own pros and cons associated with it being the boss. But
that con is you're the boss. Pro boss, con, you're responsible for everything. So you just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Don't feel like it's all glamorous just to say I'm the boss or the boss times 2, and you don't have any responsibility.
Correct. Next, flexible work schedule. So you're able to do some of the things like what we do, as far as if we're going to travel, if we want to spend time with the family, or if we want to go to a game, if we want to do certain things, then we have the flexibility to be able to do that. But we also have a team that's behind us that when we do go away.
Oh, they back us up. They
Exactly.
no doubt, hands down. We have a marvelous team. They always stand in the gap for us. Stand in the gap.
100%.
United, we stand. Divided, we
fall.
Okay, then. And finally, it can definitely be a large financial risk. You know, if you can save money before you start your business and stack up a little bit, that's what we would say do, right? We just didn't have it at the time. We didn't have anybody really directing us and telling us what to do, you know. So we, other than God, you know, we consulted God, and which we do now for everything. So at the time, we just didn't know. But now that we know, we would definitely give the advice to save up. You know, don't just
save up, get a coach, get a mentor.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, it's better to get someone that has already gone down the process that you're down the pathway, or gone through that process that you are trying to go through. So then they can stop you from some of those hurdles that you that they face that can stop
obstacles,
you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I like that. What was that? About 6 weekends. Usually we get 5 tips, but that was like another 5 and a bonus. So pros and cons.
Yeah, we always throw a bonus in there.
Absolutely. But
just like at work, you like at the time when you were working, you like to get a bonus. So
speaking of bonus, I hadn't gotten a bonus in a while.
Okay, next question.
Anyway, let me thank the people. Let's thank the people. We want to thank you again for joining us. It's a blessing to have you. We appreciate the support. Please continue to watch, share,
subscribe.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell their church family, tell your pastor, tell everybody about the Sloan Blueprint. Please subscribe to our YouTube and all the other outlets. In upcoming episodes, we definitely are thrilled that we're going to have some phenomenal guests. We've told you, so y'all stay tuned. We didn't forget. Don't y'all forget. But they're going to come and share their blueprint on success in their marriages and their faith, and in their families, and how they're making it work and how they're thriving as well.
Correct. So right now we're almost giving you a blueprint as far as how Team Sloan is doing. We want to do more than just give them Team Sloan.
Right.
We want to be able to allow them to hear from others as well and see how they're doing things. Yeah, we have one a blueprint as far as how it works for us. Well, we have others that are going to come in that are successful in business and successful in their marriage, and then how they are creating the blueprints for their family so that you guys can learn and heed some of the advice that they may be giving.
Absolutely, just to get some other perspectives.
Correct.
Right? All right. So as we sign off, we just want to remind you, in your pursuit to being your own boss, or your what? Boss times 2.
Boss
Come on,
times
help me advertise.
2.
Boss times 2.
Boss times 2.
Keep in mind that nothing beats a failure but a try, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. And what else would you say?
Dream it, believe it, build it.
Come on.
There we go.
He always trying to get y'all. Now he wants y'all to give him a love offering for that word. But thank y'all again for joining us. Y'all be blessed and have a safe week.